What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married to Medicine, Season 9, Episode 9. So, Dr. Contessa tells us that she is going to lay off Heavenly because Heavenly is going through a very traumatic time right now, dealing with her mother being in hospice. So, she has enough grace, enough decency, and enough humanity to not really, be mean to Heavenly or continue to argue with Heavenly and to allow Heavenly to deal with whatever she needs to deal with her mom. Thank you, Dr. Contessa. How sweet of you. So, moving on to Audra. So, Audra and her husband Martin, they are planning their wedding. They are actually legally married. They got married in the courthouse in the beginning of the year, I think she said. I think she means the beginning of last year when this was recorded. And so because of COVID running rampant back then, they couldn't have this big grand wedding. So now is her time to shine as the bride that she's always wanted to be. And so they're meeting with some wedding planners and some vendors or whatever. And of course, whenever we're seeing a wedding being planned on television, it's always about the budget, the budget, the budget. We all know that they're going to go over budget. We all know that this wedding is going to be probably very beautiful, but they will definitely be going over budget. So there's nothing really new there. Anila, this whole entire episode I felt like was very Anila heavy. Now I think Anila has definitely been showing up lately on Married to Medicine. Her and her husband, they've been given a lot more screen time, and she has been. We're seeing more and more of her, and I'm not gonna say that I hate it. So her parents have officially moved in, and her mom is going to be like the full-time caretaker of the children. And I say full-time because Anila, she's too busy blogging, vlogging, or whatever the hell she's doing in her blogging room. And she doesn't have time to take care of her kids, so her mom is going to be like the primary caretaker of the children. And Anila tells her mom that she is going into the hair business. She says that when she had her children, she had lost a lot of hair, and so she started adding hair in or using hair, and so she's decided to make a business out of it. She knows what she's doing. She probably has a great hookup, so she is going to be selling hair, and she takes her mom to the warehouse. And then Anila again, Dr. Kieran, he is hosting some type of a man's night. Didn't really care, wasn't really interested, but they had a good time. Oh, the one thing that I do want to say about the men's night. So Curtis, he drives up in his, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's some type of really old fashioned looking car, and it looks, hell of expensive. So when Dr. Scott showed up, when he arrived in the parking lot, he stopped by Curtis's car and took a picture of him next to Curtis's car. So when he goes inside the building, he tells, Curtis, I had to take a picture next to your car because it's so smooth, it's so nice. And Curtis says, well, you better not have touched my car. So then in the confessional with him and Dr. Jackie, Curtis says something like, there's one rule for me: don't touch my car and don't touch my wife. But you can touch other women, Curtis. You're very possessive of your wife, but you can put your hands on other women. But that was a long time ago. I'm sorry for bringing up the past, the dirty, dirty past. But I just had to say that. Tori goes to see a counselor. She tells her, I don't know if it's a counselor or a spiritual leader or who this woman is, but her hair was beautiful. But anyway, so Tori goes to go see this counselor, and she talks about how she didn't know it at the time, but she was in a really deep depression. She was in a really deep, deep funk. And she didn't realize it at the time, but her children noticed, because her children noticed that she wasn't happy anymore, and they commented on that. And she talked about how she felt Eugene was also like emotionally distancing himself from her. So they were going through a lot during that time. This is when, the COVID was running rampant in our streets. Dr. Eugene was dealing with, all of these COVID patients. It took a heavy, heavy, heavy toll on Dr. Eugene to, have to deal with that, to have to see so many people die in front of him, trying to save everybody. It was just a lot for Dr. Eugene. And Dr. Eugene, on the flip side, he goes to see Dr. Damon. Now, Dr. Eugene and Dr. Damon, they used to both be in emergency medicine. I think Dr. Damon kind of helped Eugene kind of go into the whole whatever medical field, medical world, and they were working together. And Dr. Damon was kind of like his mentor. So they used to work, in the same hospital, I think. And it came to a point where Dr. Damon, he was over emergency medicine, and he began, I guess, his own private practices. And so Dr. Eugene goes to Dr. Damon and tells him, you know what, I'm feeling really burnt out with emergency medicine. I don't want to leave it forever, but it is definitely has taken its toll on me. And the whole COVID thing just kind of really added on to just the pure exhaustion and frustration of it all. So he is looking for a way out of emergency medicine. Like a break, just a little short break. Like he says, I'm not going to leave the ER forever. I just need a change of scenery. So he goes to Dr. Damon for advice. And, Dr. Damon totally understood. Can you imagine? I mean, for those of us who are not doctors, can you imagine, having to work with patients, who are like dealing with so many traumatic issues, gunshots, stabbings, pandemic, all kinds of stuff. And you're like, all these people, you need to go and try to save their lives. I'm surprised that they've lasted as long as they had in emergency medicine, because I just can't even think on how much what that can do to a person mentally, emotionally, physically, they are like true heroes. So it seems like Dr. Eugene is going to be looking for another type of outlet. I don't know what he's going to be doing. He really doesn't know right now, but he definitely felt inspired and motivated by Dr. Damon. Toya, her counselor, tells her that what she needs to start doing is to probably just keep a diary, write down your thoughts and your feelings, etc. We're back to Anila. Anila comes downstairs. The kitchen's a hot mess. Her mom's like a messy person. It's a hot mess. The breakfast stuff is still left over. There's stuff all over the toys, the crafts projects, the food. It's just a hot mess. I felt like this scene was just a little bit on the staged side, just for dramatic effect. But whatever. And I'm like, Anila, just get a maid. Your mom can take care of the kids. And then as far as like, keeping up your home, just hire a maid. How can you expect your mom, your elderly mom, to take care of two small children, two small and energetic children, and clean your house too? Like, what the hell are you talking about, Anila? No, ma'am. No, your mom did all of that with you and your siblings. Now she's in her advanced years, and she needs to be relaxing and chilling and soaking it all in and traveling the world with her husband, but she's running after your rugrats, and then you're going to get mad at her because she can't keep your house spotless, as if you're paying her, which you're not. Anila, come on. Girl, you're doing the most. Come on. Get you a damn maid. If the mother's okay with taking care of the kids, she can deal with the kids, but get you a maid. Stop it. Dr. Jackie also had some really good moments. I don't know who these women are. They're from some podcast. I cannot remember the name of the podcast. I don't know who these women are, but whatever. I don't know if they were featuring Dr. Jackie on their podcast. I don't know. This is when my husband came into the room and was asking a whole bunch of questions about what I was watching. So I lost focus in this during these scenes. But what I did catch and what I did get was Dr. Jackie encouraging women to get their women checkups, to be on top of that, because prevention is the best medicine. So that was a really good scene for that. That's all I have to say. It really wasn't much. That's it. And our hearts go out to Dr. Heavenly. Thank you so much for joining me in this review. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.